introduce themselves? Starting with Brad, if you want to know.
Hello, I am Brad Miller. I am the CEO of PSTA. Good morning.
I am Rob Walker, proud city commissioner of the great city of Dunedin.
Gina Driscoll, St. Petersburg City Council.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Al Burns, Procurement Director, PSTA.
Good morning, Lucian Campillo, Director of Project Management, PSTA.
Good morning, and I am Councilmember Deborah Dick Sanders, representing St. Petersburg City Council as well as PSTA's chair. Thank you so much, and I'm glad to see everyone here today. Do we have public comment?
I did not receive anything, no.
No received, okay, so we're gonna move immediately into our action items. And the first one would be to approve the October 8th, 2025 minutes. I'll entertain a motion if there are no changes.
Move to approve.
Second.
All opposed? Oh, no. Y'all just wanna, don't just get back, don't just get back from vacation. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, the minutes pass. Then we also now have an action item for legal services that will be presented by our highly motivated procurement director, Al Burns.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Al Burns, your highly motivated Procurement Director. Today we're to talk about legal counsel. And I'm referencing a letter that was sent to you on October 16th regarding the designation of new general counsel that was sent by our current general counsel, Alan Zimmett, from the law firm Bryant Miller Olive. Give me 1 second, Madam Chair, I'm sorry.
No, take-
So the action item is for legal services, and the action is to recommend designated Jennifer Cowan from Bryant Miller Olive BMO as the new general counsel for PSTA. Madam Chair, this morning I was reviewing Jennifer's resume, and it's very extensive. She graduated from Stetson University College of Law with a JD in concentration on advocacy, and might I add, she graduated cum laude. She's also a graduate from the Florida State University with a bachelor's from Florida State. Her bar admission, she's a member of the Florida Bar, and she's board certified. Also, there are a couple of other members from the Bryant Miller Olive team that are in what I'll call her lineup, or Bryant Miller's lineup. There's Denise Hicken, Esquire. She's a shareholder and chair of labor and employment practice. And also we have Fred Springer, Esquire. He's a shareholder with multiple practice areas. And I will tell you that I lean into Mr. Springer specifically for a procurement for procurement questions that we have. Bryant Miller Olive has been our law firm for quite a long time, and I'm sure you all are familiar with Alan Zimmett. But as the letter indicated that was sent to you, Alan is retiring, and he's recommending Jennifer Cowan as general counsel. There are some options available if the board wishes, or if, Madam Chair, if you wish to explore those options. But right now, I believe that the Bryant Miller Olive contract lasts until 2029. So we have quite a bit more time left on the contract. And with that, once again, the action is recommend designating Jennifer Cowan from Bryant Miller Olive BMO as the new general counsel for PSTA. And that's it. And if you have any questions, myself or Brad should be able to answer them.
Would you like to introduce the
Oh,
person
I'm
in the
sorry.
audience?
In the room, I'm sorry. I apologize, Jennifer. In the room is Jennifer. Would you like to say a couple of words, Jennifer?
Come on up, Miss Jennifer, I was gonna call you up.
Sorry,
Oh,
Brad.
I'm just here in case you have any questions.
That's okay.
So, and I guess the only thing that I'll say with regard to this is that really this is a priority of the team change. So Alan has been the primary all along, with many of us supporting myself, Fred, as Al just mentioned, and then also Denise. With this, Alan would still be involved, but he would no longer be the primary, and that's what's being recommended by the firm. I'm happy to talk to you about my experience or any other questions that you might have, but I'm also mindful of your time.
Very good. Well, this is gonna be a quick one. Either of the committee members, do you have any comments or questions or?
Just one, yes. Jennifer is our city attorney in Dunedin.
Okay.
I've had the privilege and pleasure of working with her for the last 2 years, I think. And I gotta tell you, she's been absolutely the best. We're getting a good one here at PSTA.
Okay, so I guess you'll be making the motion, huh?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Welcome, Attorney Gallo. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Burns.
You're welcome, Madam Chair.
So now we're gonna move into our information items, which will be the draft agenda from Mr. Miller.
Good morning. Thank you for that, yes. I have already had the pleasure of working with her, Jennifer, and happy to keep working with her. She is our ferry boat wrangler with
Yay.
St. Petersburg and Tampa. For sure. So the main item on the agenda is, and our meeting is on December 3rd. We don't have a meeting in November because of Thanksgiving, and then the meeting is always the first week in December. We have two significant items. One is hopeful, but is predicated on tomorrow in St. Petersburg, the city of St. Petersburg and the city of Tampa. Before that, they meet at 9 o'clock in the morning, approving the interlocal agreements to support the Tampa Bay Ferry. And then subject to those being approved by the cities, the finance committee and then the board will approve three things. The interlocal agreements with Tampa and St. Pete for the funding, the contract with Hubbard's Marina, and then an amendment to the contract. This is the only depressing one. It's an amendment to the Hubbard contract to allow for the possibility of the port of St. Petersburg to be used as a backup in case the Vinoy does not get done. But there's, I think, strong support for getting the Vinoy up and running, so the amendment wouldn't even come into play, hopefully. So that's all. It's gonna start tomorrow, but then that's gonna be one of the main items. And the other main item on the agenda will be the approval of the committee members and board officers for 2026. And that is going to be based on a nominating committee December 1st, Monday, before the board meeting. So TBD on that, but I know that thank you to Chair Vic Sanders and Vice Chair Tom Reed and Secretary Treasurer Patty Reed for all submitting their interest in serving again as officers. And I think there's some interest in the legislative committee and the executive committee as well. We'll be saying goodbye to our past chair, so we will have an opening on the executive committee to fill. The only other thing that we can talk more at the nominating committee, but I wanted to talk to you, the executive committee, was about our Oldsmar representative, Mayor Gannon, who has just not been able to attend many board meetings. And I don't think and I think she's just a very busy person and has also not been able to attend many Fort Pinellas meetings. And she is PSDA's appointment to Fort Pinellas. My thought was to talk to Whit Blanton for Fort Pinellas, and then maybe jointly talk to her about whether or not there's somebody else on the city council in Oldsmar that might have more time to attend, or kind of talk to her first, and then perhaps the nominating committee would appoint a new representative for PSTA to Fort Pinellas to take so we weren't double, we weren't affecting Fort Pinellas's attendance necessarily. We could have someone that could attend that more regularly. And
So I have questions about that.
yeah, I mean, the official process as laid out in our rules is if a board member has poor attendance, and technically she doesn't because it only counts as an unexcused, and our definition of excuse is incredibly easy. It's like, I'm not coming. And if you let me or Rachel know, that counts. She hasn't technically met the definition, but the rules call for the chair. The reason I'm bringing it up to the executive committee is because the chair writes a letter to the city suggesting a different appointment. Now, in this case, she's the mayor, so your letter is to her. And Rachel has drafted a letter, but I was thinking perhaps first I would see if Whit and I can maybe talk to her. That's my idea. But it's up to the executive committee what you wanna do.
Is that seat an Oldsmar only seat?
No, it is a rotating seat between Safety Harbor, Oldsmar, and Tarpon Springs, and she's in the second year, I think, of a 3-year Oldsmar term.
It's just unfortunate because you've got 3 communities that are not being represented.
Right.
And so
Right, yeah.
I would be interested to know what they all think, but that's their business, how they want to handle it, but that lack of representation is a concern. And I like the idea of you and Whit, because as someone who also serves on Fort Pinellas, I see the absenteeism and it's really unfortunate that means PSTA does not have designated representation. Chair Fig Sanders has been great about giving the PSTA update in the Fort Pinellas meetings.
Yeah.
But it's not supposed to be the way things work, and so you've got a couple of PSTAs affected in 2 ways. The Fort Pinellas is affected. I really like the approach of having that conversation because I think any reasonable public servant would understand the dilemma that we have with that. And so I hope that goes well, and I'm glad that you and Whit will both, or that you have this idea for you and Whit to have that conversation. So I look forward to hearing how that goes. Well, I guess in this meeting, we don't have to talk about what Fort Pinellas does, but I know they have a process as well and may have already made some communication.
I mean, Whit and I have talked about it a little bit, but I'm gonna suggest we maybe jointly or talk to her sort of collectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, just see what she wants to do.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of important stuff happening with PSTA, let's just bring it back home here. And I wanna make sure that everyone who is on the board has the ability to attend and participate and weigh in and make sure that we have all representation, because then when we pass something, we feel better about it because we know that everyone has had a chance to weigh in. Right now, we've got 3 communities who have an empty seat at the table. So I hope you'll get it resolved.
Me too. The only time this has happened before that we actually had the chair send a letter was in a case several years ago with Largo, and their board member was not attending, and so the chair sent a letter to Mayor Brown, and he said no. He declined to name somebody new for a while. So that's always a possibility too. There's really not much PSA can do, you know. Cause it's really up to the cities to who they want, you know.
Commissioner Walker?
Well, I kind of like the approach that you suggested with regards to allowing them to talk to the mayor of Oldsmar, but I totally agree with you. But I think I would just add to that, is it mandated somewhere by charter, bylaws, whatever, that there's a certain periodicity of how those seats get rotated?
Yes,
There-
well, they actually have a interlocal agreement amongst themselves
Okay,
on, they get, the statute says they get one seat amongst the three. And then they have worked out a 3-year cycle
Okay.
that goes geographically, let's see, counterclockwise. The Oldsmar, Tarpon Springs, Safety Harbor goes around.
so this
Yeah.
year is Oldsmar, and then next year would be,
Well, next year, it's 3-year terms. So Oldsmar is, I think, in year 2 of 3, and then it would go to Tarpon Springs.
got it, okay, well, yeah, I think you definitely need to have that conversation in person,
Oh, yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I agree with it.
Thank you. So my 2 cents, Rachel, do we know what the attendance has been? And I know, present or excused,
One second.
and while you're looking that up, I'll just make my statement. As an elected official, when you sign up to do certain things, there's a commitment that goes with your morals, integrity, as well as your presence. And I agree with Commissioner Driscoll that we need them present, not just to show up on days that we vote. Because when I hear someone say I didn't have the opportunity to review the documents because I was not here, is not a sufficient excuse for being unaware of what has happened. And being present, to me, is 95% of, whether it be Zoom, whether it be, you have to be present to effectively and efficiently serve in your role and inform yourself as to where we are. So I'm the chair that been an elected, I don't wanna send a letter because of public, I don't wanna do that. But I do think, cause you cannot convince me that we don't know that we're not showing up. We know that we're absent. No one has to tell us that we're absent. We know that we're not attending. So that is very professionally courteous of us to extend that conversation in person. But again, I don't know if we need to review our bylaws because I can call every single month and say I'm not coming. And how impactful is that, with the communities that you're representing? So I just want us to be realistic. I want us to be transparent with the situation as to how it is being presented today. So you have those numbers, Rachel?
I have 5 absences, and she started in March.
Okay. So the election was in January, wasn't it?
It was in March.
Oh, the election was in
Yeah.
March. Okay, we have 5 absences and we're in month.
We're in
Yeah, but
through October, so that's
So out of 7 months, we
5
missed
out of
5 meetings.
out of 8 months, eight
So
months.
there have
8
been
months, we missed 5 meetings.
7,
7 months?
March through October.
7,
Okay, 7.
okay, so out of
Down to
7
2.
meetings, we've missed 5.
Yeah.
Those numbers speak for themselves. So
I think it's about the same for Fort Pinellas too.
yeah, it
Yeah.
has. So I will concur with the approach of having that conversation of something that we already know, but we're extending that professional courtesy, and I do appreciate you and Whit having a conversation amongst yourselves as to how you're gonna present, what the options are. I'm not sure if we need to look at our bylaws, if there's anything that we can do to Because you can have so many I'm not comings, and we've already had 5, and we have 3 unexcused before you automatically, there is no conversation. You're automatically removed from that position. So, to pick up the phone or have a legislative aide say I'm not coming, I don't think is sufficient of the standards that we wanna uphold with PSCA. My 2 cents, I don't mind giving it, don't mind sharing it, but I just do appreciate the fact that you all are willing to go the extra mile and to provide that professional courtesy to do that. So we're gonna leave it there, and we're gonna wait on the next update from you as to where that is. And with that presentation, I'm hoping that we're gonna get a next steps with that after you have the conversation, so we can discuss that in further detail.
Yes, I mean, the one thing that is within our control that I'm going to recommend to the nominating committee on December 1st is that we appoint a new appointment to Fort Pinellas from the PSA board. But yeah, then I'll find out more once I talk to her.
So again, that's astounding, 7 meetings, 5 absences. Let's not forget.
So I brought that up with the nominating committee and the board officers and committee appointments that's gonna be on the agenda. And then we have a couple items on the finance committee that will Microsoft?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Microsoft licenses and claim settlement. And then of course the legal services with Brian Miller and Olive. So that is at least that's what's shaping up to be our planned agenda.
Okay. Moving on to other business, does any other commissioners have anything they wanna bring up, discuss, present?
I think do we have an executive committee meeting next month, or is it just the board meeting? And this is our last,
No committees next month, just board.
okay,
Yeah.
well, this is my last executive committee
Oh,
meeting.
right.
And since we didn't have a legislative committee meeting, I'll just tell the,
Oh, you'll still be around.
just send a message out to the legislative committee. It's been a real pleasure, so
You will be
sort of
missed,
doing my
truly.
farewell tour now for the next month, so yeah, but it's even when I'm not on the board anymore, starting next year, you will still have a friend, a fan, and a resource on city council. I'll be still watching and cheering you on and ready to help whenever I can in that capacity.
Thank you for that. Just I didn't know if you had anything to say, Commissioner Walker.
No, I've got nothing further.
Well, I want to thank, okay, I'm saying Councilmember Driscoll, because you're not going anywhere, Councilmember. But Commissioner Driscoll, you have been very instrumental and very informative and very effective in your role on PSTA, and we're gonna miss that. I know I'm
Thank
gonna miss
you.
that. I'm gonna speak for myself in that regards. So again, knowing that we have your support, knowing that you're still gonna be an ally of PSTA and transportation, I think that's comforting enough. And I know I can't. Oh wait, I can talk to you about PSTA because we will no longer be
Starting next year.
Yeah, starting next year, okay, so I can.
I
I can't do that, so, well, I'm looking forward to it, and I did not realize, cause I'd had cake, balloons, the whole 9 yards, had I known today was your last day.
That's all right. We can do it at the board meeting. How's that?
Yeah, we do it at the
We're
board
gonna
meeting,
do it.
we definitely have to do something at the
No,
board meeting,
no.
'cause you've been on, what, PSTA for what?
2019 was my first year.
2019, yeah, so we definitely, okay, duly noted, Rachel, we have to do something.
It's been a great ride.
No
No pun intended.
So thank you, Commissioner Driscoll. Does anybody else have anything that they wanna say? Cause it's not just open for board members. Okay, hearing no further requests to speak and no one else having any other business, we are effectively adjourned from today's meeting, and our next meeting will be January 7th at 10 a.m. All right, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Commissioner,